Hi there, welcome to Neppy Invests. Time for an ad hoc video on A2 Milk. Never thought I'd be doing this video today. In fact, I had prepared two videos in advance to be released over the next 24 hours. But at 4 p.m. or just after 4 p.m., which I do every single day, I'm not working, I'll come to my computer just to see how my portfolios have performed during the day. Now, if you know anything about me, you know on most trading days, I completely ignore the market between 10 p.m. and 4 p.m. That's when the market is open. There is reasons behind that, and I won't get into those reasons right now. However, I do go to my computer at around 4 p.m. and I do look at the closing auction. And as I looked at the closing auction, I noticed one of my portfolios, I have a few portfolios, but one of my portfolios was up pretty big today, even though the overall market was down about 0.6%. And as I went through all the constituents of that portfolio, it was no surprise that the reason that portfolio had performed really well today was because of A2 Milk, which was the largest constituent of that portfolio. In fact, A2 Milk's share price rose 12% today on huge volume. I'll talk about the volume later in this video. So what I'll do in this video is address how I found out what happened and what caused the share price of A2 Milk to rise 12% today. Just a little bit of background before I get into the rest of this video and talk about why the share price has risen by 12% on the 16th of August. Now, this is the 1 year daily chart for A2 Milk. So for a lot of people, this won't be new news, but I just want to give a bit of a background to what's been happening to A2 Milk in the past year. About 1 year ago, just before they released their 4-year results, the share price of A2 Milk reached a high of $20. Unfortunately, in the past year, the company has released, 5 profit downgrades in 12 months. And whenever a company, not only A2 Milk, but any company releases a profit downgrade, the share price will take a massive hit. The market absolutely hates the profit downgrades over everything else. And that's why we've seen the share price of A2 Milk drop from $20 all the way to a low of just nearly $5 towards the start of June. The last profit downgrade was towards the end of May, and that seems like that could be the bottom in A2 Milk's share price, because ever since then, we have seen the share price going sideways and even up a little bit. And the well-defined downtrend we have seen since August last year has been broken. Now, share price has been going up and down in waves. I think the most recent, about a month of trading, the share price has been drifting down. And I think the reason behind that is the lockdowns in Sydney. And the main reason the share price has been dropping over the past year is because of problems in the Daigou selling channel the company has experienced. And they were thinking during the past year that will be fixed by now, and it hasn't really happened. And the major thing we have seen today on August the 16th, share price not only rising 12%, but the significant volume that has come with it. In fact, today we have seen the highest volume traded on a green day, or the share price rising, since February 2018. And on that day, the share price rose 30% in 1 day on the back of really positive half-year results. So what has caused the massive interest in A2 Milk today on August the 16th, 2021? So let's get into it. And before then, just a little bit of background about why the share price has risen. Whenever I see the share price of a company rise by a significant amount or fall by a large amount in 1 day on massive volume, is to see if the company has released any significant or price-sensitive announcements on the day. And to do that, it's very simple. If you don't know how to do this, all you need is a CommSec account or any sort of account. You go to the particular company's page, and there should be an announcement section there. Just click on the announcements, and it should list the most recent announcements the company has released. And the last announcement that A2 Milk has released was the 3rd of August. It wasn't even price sensitive or market sensitive news. So there's no clue here why the share price of A2 Milk rose 12.08% on the 16th of August on significant volume. Now, in the next slide, I am going to give away why the share price of A2 Milk rose today, but there is or needs to be some background about what's happening in the ASX right now. Actually, not only the ASX, but on exchanges around the world. I've heard and read a few times in the past that when you see that M&A on the top there, it means mergers and acquisitions. But when you see an increase in merger and acquisition activity, that could be a sign that the market is reaching a top. I'd like to verify these assertions, these hypotheses, to see if there is some validity behind it, because right now we are seeing a flurry of merging and acquisition activity, not only on the ASX but on exchanges around the world. And these are some of the companies on the ASX that have been affected in the past few months. Seniorport, there's been a takeover bid for that company. Afterpay has been taken over, or will be taken over, by American company Square. There's been a failed takeover of Altium by another American company. There's a proposed merger between Santos and Oil Search. These are two huge oil companies on the ASX. And only today, I was reading about a potential merger between Web Central and 5G Networks, because I'm interested in buying 5G networks because it looks like the share price might be breaking out. And I've actually been looking at Web Central because they've proposed to take over another company called Cirrus Networks on the cheap. So in those three companies I've been researching today, there's a proposed merger between two of them, and one of those companies that is going to merge with the other company is wanting to take over another company. So a flurry of merger and acquisition activity in recent times. So the question is the market reaching a top? But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is just telling you that we're seeing a lot of speculation and rumors out there about possible mergers and acquisitions and possible companies that could be affected. In recent months, I have read quite a few articles and listened to a few podcasts in regards to the possibility of A2 Milk being taken over. For instance, in the Australian on the 27th of April, there was an article called A2 Milk back on Takeover Radar. And I was listening to a podcast, the Australian Investors Podcast with Owen and Nirban on the 14th of July. And they were talking about which company they thought will receive a takeover offer first, Treasury Wine Estates or A2 Milk. Funny enough, I own both of those companies. I've also read some other articles which were telling investors what companies are in line to possibly receive a takeover bid in the future. And the reason why it's good to know which companies might be in line to receive takeover bids is because sometimes the premium to current share price those bids will be put at are significantly high. So you could get a 30, 40, 50% increase in your share price in one day if there is a takeover bid. Not always, but sometimes you will. That's why it can be beneficial to know which companies have a high chance or a good chance of being taken over. It shouldn't be the only reason to invest, but it can be a good and valid reason to invest in some companies. And it seems like the speculation and rumours of A2 Milk potentially being taken over have really heightened today on the 16th of August. All I did was Google A2 Milk, and the first three articles that popped up pointed out and showed exactly why the share price rose today in A2 Milk. It was all about fresh takeover talks from the Motley Fool, and then two New Zealand articles from RNZ and New Zealand Herald actually pointed out which company has been rumoured to be eyeing off taking over A2 Milk, and that's Nestle. And the market is getting excited because when a company is willing to take over another company, it shows there could be good value there. And that's why the share price is rising. Another thing it shows, or there is potential, there could be other bidders. And if other bidders come into play and want to take over A2 Milk, we could see a bidding war. That will drive up the share price even further and the potential takeover bids even higher. And the other thing is, if they do want to take over A2 Milk, they're going to have to pay a little bit of a premium from current share prices. And we're talking about 30, 40, even 50% premium to current share prices. And those reasons are why the market is excited about A2 Milk on today, the 16th of August, with the share price rising 12%. There is potential, if these rumors keep going, the share price could rise significantly more than it did today. Before I finish this video, what are my thoughts on a potential takeover bid for A2 Milk, as I am a long-term shareholder of this company? If there is a takeover bid, I'd want a significant premium of of today's prices. So if we are looking at around about a $7 share price, I'd want at least a 40% premium to those prices, because I do think the share price has reached a bottom. There is a floor, and that floor is definitely around $5 to $6. And as soon as this pandemic ends and we open up the borders to international travels, we let in Chinese students again into this country, and we will let them in eventually, we'll more than likely see business significantly improve in A2 milk. We just don't know when that is. And we've got these bottom pickers like Nestle who see really good value with A2 milk, and they know the best time to buy this company or take over this company is right now, before the business conditions of this company significantly improve, which will more than likely happen within the next few years. So they want to buy this company on the cheap. And I do think they need to pay a little bit of a premium to satisfy me, and more than likely satisfy the management. However, the management have been under stress over the past year, and they could just see a takeover bid and think that's good enough. And those are the two worst words you can hear from management of a company you work for or a management of a company you own. Good enough is most likely not the best intentions or the best result for shareholders. Hope you've enjoyed this video on A2 Milk and why the share price rose 12.08% today on August the 16th. If you do have any questions about A2 Milk or any other company on the ASX, just leave a comment or a question in the comment section of this video. The last thing I always mention is I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.